Hello, this is Spiritual Healer here, and I'm going to be doing a working for a client. I don't hardly ever show any of my workings, but I've decided to do this one because of so many bad habits that's going on right now. This is a healing working for a client. I'll explain what most of the ingredients are for, and there's some that I will not reveal. I've got the candles going. I'm going to do a quick cleansing of my space, my area. With the sage. This is to keep anything negative out, for protection. I don't want any evil things coming in that I'm not inviting in. This is a healing working. Okay? Got my candles going, a black candle and a white candle. And the doll will be baptized in the client's name. There will be no harm to the doll. This is to represent the client only for the purpose of getting rid of a bad habit. No harm whatsoever is to come to my client. There is a petition here that is written out. Let me cover the name. You cannot see the name, but the petition is all written out. It will go underneath here for now. Got the water here, and I need to light the incense. I will go over some of the ingredients, not all the ingredients, because I do not normally show all the ingredients. But at the same time, I make all of my oils and all of my powders. Okay. The doll's to be baptized. And I will get my holy water that I'll make myself. And baptize them in the baptism of the Holy Spirit. Baptize you. His name is, and date of birth is okay. So, like I say, no harm will come to this client. Strictly, it is for the bad habit. Okay. It will be placed in the coffin to symbolize the alcohol addiction, to put rest. No harm will come to this person. To bury addictions only. So the coffin will be buried at the end. I will not disclose the location, but the coffin will be buried because we will be burying his alcohol addiction. I will call upon and ask for assistance from God, Archangel Michael for protection, Archangel Raphael for healing, and any other archangels that can help in this healing prayer. Also call upon and ask for assistance from my spirit guides, my ancestors, and my guardians. I ask for assistance from the 4 elements. If they can assist in any way, they are welcome: air, fire, water, and earth. When I start, I will concentrate on the prayer. I will concentrate solely on the prayer after I have given you some of the names of the oils and powders that I use. But once I start it, then I will strictly be concentrating on the prayer itself. This is a banishing spell. It is for alcohol, to banish a bad alcohol habit. 7-day candle, banish negativity. 7-day candle, white, for purity. Purple candle, which will be the purple candle, to seal the coffin. The coffin, to have the alcohol addiction put to rest. The cinnamon, incense, and frankincense, in a sense, incense is in here. Let me repeat that. The cinnamon and frankincense, incense is in here. That is a mouthful. Eucalyptus oil and the eucalyptus leaves, which is, here's the leaves. Here's the oil. This is an oil that I don't make myself, that I buy. The war oil, it is here, and I do make it myself. Okay. Magical death oil, that's death to the alcohol habit. That is this one, and you can see in there. The black salt for protection for his body, mind, and soul, and which is black salt. And I make this myself, and it will be to protect his body, mind, and soul. No harm, like I say, will come to him, okay? Strictly to get rid of his alcoholism, his bad habit. Selenite oil is for a very powerful protection oil. It's this one. Now keep in mind, I make all these myself. The eucalyptus is the only one so far that I don't make. And you can buy that from any place pretty much. Confusion powder. And it will be confusion powder. Okay. Controlling powder, this one here, and the confusion powder is to confuse the cravings in his body. The controlling power, he will be in control of his body, mind, and spirit. The hot foot powder, this is the hot foot powder. Hot foot powder is for the bad habit to leave. You want it to leave his body, leave his area, completely leave. No, so he don't have no part of it. Licorice commanding oil, is a very powerful ingredient, and that would be this one. Okay, that's what I make. the banish powder to banish the addiction. This one here. The blessed cinnamon oils for an offering for Archangel Michael. And that would be this one here. Okay. And Van oil. That is this one here. Also to rid of his bad habits. All of these are to banish his habits, his power oil. This one here is power oil. Healing oil. This one here. Okay. Dragon's resin, frankincense resin, myrrh resin that doubles the protection when used with a frankincense, and then the coral resin. So we've got the coral, frankincense, dragon's resin, dragon's blood resin, I should say. For some of you know what these are. For the ones that don't, myrrh resin. Okay. Ancestor oils, because I will be asking for their help. And I have 2 of them here. That's 1. And that is 2. Because I'm calling upon my ancestors also. Graveyard dirt is to add to the coffin to put the alcohol addiction to rest. And that would be this. And I have it labeled on the other side. I'm not going to show you the names on it because it's relatives' graveyard dirt. I also have graveyard dirt for sale that's not from my relatives, and also some with ants in it, but that's for like bad people. This is not bad. This is to help an addiction. Licorice root herb. It's for domination. Put the bad habit in its place. And that would be, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Right here. Licorice root. Okay. Also, angelica root. It's here. Okay. Crab shell. I do these myself. The crab shells to move back in time before the addiction. That's what we want this client to do, to go back in time before the addiction, to be back the way he was. Purple glitter. Banishing. This is to put on top of the coffin. It's for banishing. And again, the petition is here underneath the coffin, and that will be folded and burned and placed in the coffin. Okay. The water that I mentioned earlier, that's a conduit to amplify all intentions and energy being put into the healing workings. So I will get started here. We have baptized this. The petition is here. I will not turn it over so you all cannot see. There's also ingredients in here that I won't say what they are when I get ready to burn the petition. Eucalyptus leaves will also go in here for when I burn the petitions. The petition, I should say. You do not need a whole lot of this stuff of each one because they are very, very powerful and potent. Oil you have to be very careful with because it's very nasty. His body is at war with his addiction, and therefore we are going to do away with it. He is going to win this war. He is going to beat this habit. Magical death oil. Death to his addiction. death to him wanting the alcohol. And it's going straight across his mouth. Doom oil. This one I've got to be very careful with and not touch. This is what is going to make him not want the alcohol. He's not even going, and it's thick. He's going across his mouth and his stomach. He is not going to want to even smell alcohol or be in the vicinity of alcohol. So if anybody else is drinking, he's not going to want no part of it. Excuse me 1 second. I'm going to be right back and go get me a towel. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Now, this is the witch's salt for protection. I make this myself, and it is extremely, extremely potent. Matter of fact, I want this in my hand to sprinkle it on. That will protect him as he goes through the steps of not wanting the alcohol, because his body's going to want it, but he's not going to want it. And this is the graveyard dirt. The reason I'm putting the graveyard dirt in here is because it's going to be the end of the cycle of his alcohol. You don't need much. And it comes from my family's gravesite, and they will protect his body, mind, and soul while he is getting rid of the addiction. This is the petition, and like I say, the name is on the other side. I'm going to keep it to where you cannot see it. We are going to fold it away from us. The addiction is going to be going away. Let me read this to you without his name. This is a healing prayer for date of birth. I no longer have an alcohol addiction. I no longer depend on alcohol. Alcohol makes me sick. Alcohol makes my mouth and tongue hurt with pain. I can't even stand the smell of alcohol. I can't stand to be around where alcohol is present. Alcohol is no longer a part of my life. This is a prayer for this person to get rid of the alcohol addiction. He will no longer be an alcoholic. It will be completely gone. And I will light this. And this is what it looks like so far. Remember, no harm will come to this person's body, mind, and soul, his spirit. No harm's coming to him. This is solely to get rid of his alcohol addiction. With his alcohol addiction, he makes life miserable for his family. The one that he loves more than anything in the world. He's a totally different person when he's drinking, and we need to get rid of that so that he can backtrack the way he was before that started. Alcoholism is dead out of his body. Alcoholism is gone. No more alcohol in his system. He will not crave it anymore. It will taste horrible to him. He won't want anything whatsoever to do with it. It's burning down even with the eucalyptus leaves. Let me see if I can show it. There. Now the leaves are burning. The leaves are still burning. I also have amethyst crystals in this bowl and quartz crystals in this bowl. All of these here, my husband and I, we go dig them up ourselves. We use them in our prayers for healing, for protection, for all kinds of blessings and prayers. The paper is completely burned away. Some of the other ingredients is in here. Not all of it will burn. And as soon as it cools down in just a minute, we will add it over here because it is hot right now. These are the healing herbs, protection herbs. There's even flowers in here, roses, hibiscus, sunflowers, all kinds of flowers in here for love. Because he will need all the love he can get going through this. I use the word he just because it's a natural thing to use, even though females are in the same predicament. There's other herbs in here that I did not disclose because I don't always tell everything that I have in here. Okay. The alcohol addiction will be totally buried and will not come back up. We will place the top on. I will sprinkle some of the glitter. You can always go back at the beginning of the video if you want and see why I put this on, the explanation that I went over at the beginning of the list. Okay. Candle. And so I don't make this video any longer. When this burns down some, I will turn it up like that and I will cover the glitter with the candle wax, and as I cover that, then I'm going to turn this to its side and I am going to seal all the way around this, around where the lid connects to the bottom. Okay, so I'll be doing this. I will be putting the wax on, turn it over, and I will seal all the way around. I will seal the lid onto it. Okay, then I will take this and I will bury it and I will bless the ground, and I have called upon the 4 elements because this will be buried in the ground. I will not disclose where I will bury it. Okay, and it will not ever be bothered. And pretty much that will conclude this working. Thank you for watching the video. If you see any of the oils or anything, I make them myself, and I will have my website listed below, so you can always go on there and order anything you want off of the website. Thank you again, and this is a prayer, a healing for a client to get rid of his alcohol addiction so he can go back to being the loving person that he was before all of this started. Thank you.